It's been extremely beneficial since I played all the sports. I think just learning, every sport kind of has its own dynamics to it. Different ways the team works together. There's teamwork differences. There's you got basketball, which is less people. You got soccer, which is more. Football, which is a big group. So learning how to interact with people, learning you have a common goal. But the part I really enjoyed was just honing in different skills. I think soccer did me really good as far as my eye-feet coordination, and I think that helps with my eye-hand coordination. And I think just in general playing, it was kind of fun for me to go throughout a school year and be like, okay, it's soccer season now. Okay, I can move on with soccer. I'm on to something different. I think that was just, I was always busy, it was always something fun going on, and I really enjoyed every second of it, and I think it really did benefit me in the long run. Like I said, with all the team dynamic differences, and then as far as just honing different skills, I think it's been very, very good for my career. Surprisingly, I didn't get much grief from a lot of the coaches. That's the number one thing I hear now is you get grief from coaches that you're not putting enough time into basketball because it's this other season. My experience here was great. All the coaches kind of understood that's what I did. That's what you're going to get is I'm going to go play these other sports. If I have time, I'll come and practice these other things. But I felt like they were very understanding that, and now looking back and seeing how awesome that experience was for me and how it's kind of changed where like you said, a lot of people are a lot of coaches are pushing their kids to be, this is where I see you going. I think it's too early in high school to say that. So I would just tell the kids, if you're passionate towards it and you want to do it, don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it, because I did it, and honestly, it was the best thing that I ever did. I think was just play all the sports and figure out what I truly liked sport-wise, and then I enjoyed it. Honestly, soccer was my first love. I played it at the youngest age, and I played that probably the most competitively till high school, and then I was still pretty competitive at it in high school as well. And honestly, I thought football was where I was going to head. After high school, I talked to a bunch of coaches in college, and hey, you can do this, you can do that. I never even got seen in baseball. I think partially it was the summer baseball in Iowa was kind of tough, where a lot of schools play spring baseball, so the scouts aren't going to come out to an Iowa summer game when there's these all-star tournaments going on the same weekend in big cities around the world or around the U.S. So I think that kind of hindered it a little bit. If you feel like you're heading in one direction, you have more passion towards one, I would, you can specialize. There's nothing against that. If you are truly passionate about one thing over the others, I don't see anything wrong with that. But like I said, I didn't know where I was going sport-wise, so I enjoyed them all equally, so that's why I did it. But if you ever see yourself not wanting to put the effort in, I say go put effort where you want to put effort. So if you want to specialize in basketball, you can get ahead of the curve, because I went to college to play baseball, and it was the first time I ever specialized, and there was some rude awakenings in that. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't do right because I didn't practice all the time. So, but at the end of the day, I think all the other stuff that I did, it made that learning curve so much easier. So, but if you're really passionate about one sport, there's nothing wrong with specializing. For me personally, it really wasn't what I wanted at the time, and I didn't know what I wanted at the same time. So it was that's how I experienced it, and I enjoyed that. Yes, absolutely.
All five sports or multiple sports, whatever.
Absolutely.
Knowing what you know now.
Yeah, I've made so many friendships over the years, and that's the part you remember. You don't remember the games. You don't remember all that. You remember the locker room fun, the after the game hanging out, and that was another cool part is I got to hang out with different people throughout the year. I got to hang out because not everybody played all five sports, so I was hanging out with different people every season. So I made a lot of friends in high school, and Yeah, that's the stuff you remember. You remember maybe a big game that you won or something like that, but you're going to remember the small things that you didn't think were big at the time, but they end up being really big memories for you. So, I thought that was really cool to have different seasons where I was with different people all the time. So I felt like I got different perspectives, and that was a good thing. I think you do probably as a parent have to push them into a little bit to see if they like it, because they're not just going to enjoy it right away. Maybe push them to see if they like it, but if they truly don't enjoy it, then I don't see a point in it. There's different things as far as football. Football is obviously a scary thing now with all the new information that's coming out. I've had that question asked a million times. Would you let your kid play football now? And you know what? I don't know. I don't know what I would do. But I don't really have a perspective on that because I'm not a parent. But I think if they enjoy it, go for it. If not, I think the kids know what they want to do. You can give them a little nudge, but I was always the one telling my parents I want to do this, and my parents weren't pushing me to do anything. I think they showed me a bat and a ball, and then I kind of fell in love with it. They showed me a golf club and a golf ball, and I enjoyed it. So you show them the options, I think, but if they don't take to it, there's no reason to really push the issue in my eyes. But they did. They gave me my parents gave me all the opportunities. They said, "Hey, this is out there. Do you enjoy it?" My grandpa would take me golfing, and I just kind of fell in love with golf. So they just gave me the opportunities, and then they let me figure out if I liked it or not. And I think that's the best route to go, is present the opportunities. If they don't like it, then present another opportunity. I think the parents know where the opportunities are, and that's where they have to push them to do that. But pushing them beyond that, it doesn't make sense to me. Mr. Anderson, I had him in football for a little bit. He was always one of those guys that he had a really cool, calm demeanor. It just always seemed like he had it figured out, you know. You have those coaches that you're like, okay, you instantly respect them. Schenkelberg was great for me because he challenged me, you know. He challenged me. There's the saying, if they stop yelling, then they don't care, kind of a deal. And Schenkelberg never really gave up on me in basketball, and that kind of carried over to other sports. But I think he was harder on me for a reason, because he knew I could be better. And he just really challenged me, and I thought that was kind of cool. I'd really never had that before, where I was like, okay, you know, I was really good, so a lot of the coaches just let me do my thing. And he was probably one of the first coaches that really challenged me, like, hey, you're good, but you can do this other stuff too. And that was kind of a cool moment that I'm like, all right, I do have more in there. And he was kind of the guy that got that out of me. A lot of the track stuff, because we went to like Drake relays and that stuff. And that I only did that my senior year, and maybe that's why it's fresher in my memory or whatever. But I remember some basketball games that you just get in kind of one of those back and forth games, and it just seems like everything's the game. You know, it's developing the whole time, and you're like, it's building. I can remember a game, I think against Jefferson, where I think I had like 36 points, and it just seemed like the whole game was building towards one moment, and it was just a really cool game. We athletically, my grade was, we were pretty subpar. We didn't make it in state or anything like that. So I think football was probably our best sport as far as record-wise. But like I said, I don't remember much of the games. Yeah. I just remember the other stuff.
Sure.
So, and that may sound crazy, but you really do. You really, once you get removed from it, you remember the stuff after the football games, or the stuff before the football games, and all the funny stuff that goes with that. And you remember more so that than the game itself, which is really weird, because you're obviously the reason you're there is for the game, but it's really all the other stuff that goes into it. Prairie, Iowa, you know, just the whole state of Iowa, it molded me that hard work will pay off. Being a good person pays off. I always get this when I meet new people and I say I'm from Iowa, they're like, is Iowa nice a thing? And I'm like, absolutely, that is that's so cool that that's a thing, you know, like you don't appreciate it till you're in a different state, or, you know, I've lived almost everywhere in the United States and I've met different cultures, different people, and that's the one thing I hear the most is Iowa nice a thing. That means so much to me, and it's so cool to hear. But I think Prairie is no different. It's just a mold of what Iowa is. It's just a bunch of good people putting in work, trying to better themselves. So it obviously means a great deal to me, and I really wouldn't be the person I am today without it. So, but yeah, it's a cool experience to get a compliment like that when you're in Arizona, in LA, and these people have never been to Iowa, but that gets around that's a thing, and I'm like, that's the coolest thing. It's like, how did that of all things get from, it's either that or corn, but you know, Iowa nice is a thing, and it will continue to be a thing, and I hope it's forever a thing.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
Awesome to have you back on campus, and good luck in everything you're doing. We sure are proud of you and proud of watching your career.
Appreciate it. Thank you.